So picture this. You're standing in your living room, right? And there's just water pulling at your feet from a burst pipe. Or maybe you're smelling that awful lingering scent of smoke after a kitchen fire. It is without a doubt a homeowner's absolute worst nightmare. The stress, the uncertainty, your whole life just totally disrupted. It's completely overwhelming. But what if the team walking through your door to fix it had literally seen it all, hundreds of times over? Today, in this explainer, we're diving deep into the operations of Pro Trade South Wales, and we're really going to focus on their ultimate secret weapon, their 20 years of highly specialized reinstatement experience. Let's see exactly how 2 decades of hands-on knowledge completely changes the game when it comes to property recovery.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with their 2 decades of proven expertise. Look at their mastery in fire and flood restoration. Uncover the truth about cavity insulation. Explore their domestic property services, and wrap up with the 5-star reviews that back the whole thing up.
All right, part 1, 2 decades of proven expertise.
Listen, in a world of severe property damage, experience isn't just some nice-to-have bonus. It is literally the entire ballgame. And the driving force behind this is Managing Director Danny Marshall. He brings over 20 years of highly specialized experience to the table. And we aren't just talking about a guy doing general building work. We're talking 2 decades specifically dedicated to complex property reinstatement and damp proofing. He's a PCA qualified technician, that's the Property Care Association, and a BDMA accredited professional. When your home's structural integrity is on the line, you absolutely want someone who spent years mastering the actual science of saving properties.
But it's not just a one-man show. Pro Trade South Wales did something super smart here. They strategically combined 3 separate companies. By doing that, they've effectively multiplied their knowledge base, bringing a massive 60 years of combined, battle-tested experience right to your doorstep. Think about that for a second. That's 6 decades of troubleshooting and refining their craft. Plus, they have seasoned veterans on the team who have actually worked for leading home insurance companies, so they know exactly how the claims system works from the inside out, which, let me tell you, is a huge advantage when you're trying to navigate that stressful insurance process.
And all this authority, it's not just theoretical, it is backed by massive, relentless action. We're talking over 500 projects successfully completed across the UK. I mean, having long-standing expertise doesn't mean much if you aren't actually using it, right? But 500-plus successful finishes prove that their methods are repeatable, reliable, and completely battle-tested. Every single one of those projects is a unique puzzle solved and a property saved.
And to put their project management skills into perspective, they handle everything from routine domestic maintenance starting around the £1,000 mark, all the way up to major nationwide commercial projects valued at £250 million. You might be wondering, why does a company capable of running a massive commercial site even care about my small domestic repair? Well, it's because the exact same rigorous project management principles apply. Whether it's a towering commercial beast or just your family kitchen, they're bringing the exact same level of precision, budget control, and speed.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering Fire and Flood Restoration.
We're talking about true structural nightmares here. Wet rot, dry rot, and wood-boring insects. These aren't just cosmetic, superficial issues. These are highly destructive threats that will quite literally eat your property from the inside out if you ignore them. Figuring out exactly which wood-boring insect is attacking a house requires really specialized training. But because of their 20-year deep dive into the industry, the Pro Trade team doesn't just guess. Their PCA-qualified techs come in, diagnose the exact threat with precision, and apply the highly specialized treatments needed to stop the rot dead in its tracks.
And you know, when a sudden disaster strikes, time is basically your biggest enemy. That's exactly why their complete house drying and mold removal services are available 24/7. Because emergencies definitely don't stick to a 9-to-5 schedule. Whether it's a pesky condensation issue or a devastating flood requiring a full-scale house dry down, their specialists are literally on standby. Catching damp early drastically reduces future headaches. So having a seasoned team ready to deploy at any hour, that is the ultimate peace of mind.
Okay, Section 3, the truth about cavity insulation. This is a really crucial point. When it comes to extracting faulty cavity wall insulation, which by the way can cause terrible damp problems, Pro Trade South Wales actively refuses to work with tied groups like SIGA, Ofgem, or tied insulation installers. Why? Because they want to guarantee that you receive totally independent, honest, and truthful advice. In an industry that can sometimes unfortunately be clouded by misconduct, their 2 decades of independence means they work solely for you, using the most advanced methods to get the job done right.
Section 4. Comprehensive Domestic Property Services.
Think about it. A team that can literally rebuild a house after a catastrophic flood is incredibly well equipped to just upgrade it under normal circumstances, right?
As a deeply experienced building contractor, their craftsmanship covers a massive spectrum, from flawless painting and wallpapering to bespoke carpentry, plumbing, and kitchen fittings. They handle interior skimming, traditional lime plastering, you name it. Because they have this huge 20-year background in coordinating complex, multi-trade disaster jobs, orchestrating everyday property upgrades is honestly second nature to them. And they approach these domestic services with a totally seamless end-to-end process. Step 1, planning and consultation, where they dial in your specific vision. Step 2, expert execution by their highly trained craftsmen. And Step 3, exceptional guaranteed results. When you hire a contractor with 20 years of strict project management experience, your vision isn't just a hopeful sketch. It's handled expertly from the very first handshake to the final coat of paint.
And finally, Section 5, backed by 5-star reviews.
Over 435-star reviews. That is just a staggering volume of highly satisfied clients. Look, in the restoration industry, earning a 5-star review is incredibly difficult. Why? Because you're usually meeting people on arguably the worst day of their lives, when their house is flooded or smoke damaged. To consistently turn those panicked, stress-filled situations into 5-star experiences, that is a massive testament to years of refining their craft and their customer service. For instance, David Sayers, a recent client, said that Dan got them out of a real bind when they had multiple sources of flooding. He pointed out that nothing was too much trouble, with repairs made super quickly. This perfectly illustrates how vast industry knowledge translates into the real world. It means calm, friendly, efficient action when the client is completely panicking. Great communication, getting the repairs done fast, and actually solving the problem.
And Jonathan Budge echoes this exactly. He shared that the team was very friendly and gave him straight, honest advice. Notice that word honest comes up again? It just goes to show that the integrity and independent advice they champion with their insulation removal extends to literally every single interaction they have with their customers.
To totally seal the deal on their authority, let's look at their elite roster of accreditations. BDMA accredited, CHAS, NISAC approved, Safe Contractor, Construction Line, PCA qualified. Honestly, it's an alphabet soup of excellence. These aren't just fancy logos. These are rigorous, independently verified standards. It proves that ProTrade South Wales operates at the absolute peak of industry safety and competence.
So it brings us to our final thought. When the unexpected happens, or hey, even when you're just planning your next big home renovation, who do you actually want standing in your hallway? The complexities of property restoration require a seriously steady hand. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. Is your property protected by 20 years of proven independent expertise? Because if it's not, it might just be time to rethink who you trust with your most valuable asset. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.